Come with some vibes right now. Ooh, Harlem. Come on in, y'all. I hear like a little scrappiness. I don't know if that's me. Let me see. Maybe you might want to. Yeah, I think that's coming from your joint. Come on in, y'all.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm good?
You good now. You good now. Come
on in.
It might have been a record. It might have been, right?
Might have been a record.
What up, y'all? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
What up? What up? Come on.
All right, so what I'll do is I will run it back. I will play something more like while we getting ready, you know. I'll play that more, Ray. Share this right now, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. Yeah, I think it is. When you do the music, it's like, no.
Yeah. That's what it is.
We here. Let me just make sure we're sharing this. Come on in, y'all. Yes, it's Wednesday. So you know what that means. Afterthought podcast. Getting locked and loaded in a few minutes. You know, let me make sure I got my boy on here. Right, sounding good. You sound good, Jay. I sound good too. I sound good on your end.
You sound good.
New York City in the building. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. That's right. As you can see, we're here with the gang. Myself, JP Campbell, Tiff will not be with us tonight. She's okay. She just won't be with us tonight. She'll be back with us next week. So yeah, you tuning in with us right now. What's going on, everybody on the check-in? If you see our face right now, that means you are either watching on Twitter, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, or IG. Shout out to everybody on IG. What's good, Jay? How you feeling, bro? What's going on with you?
Bro, let me tell you something. I'm actually feeling very, very, very blessed. I'm not gonna hold you, man. It's been a good week so far. Productive week.
Right.
You know, one thing that I find funny, man, in a good way, is like you sometimes you have to have moments or situations where it's like, you know, you get an unexpected blessing or someone throw you a lob that you wasn't expecting. And then boom, it come through. Like when you have that feeling, and especially from situations and dealing with tough times, and then you get some real good news and things that was lying, you be like, man, people really like, you just realize how blessed you are. So you know, that's little things like that, man. It just adds to the positivity of how you feel, how you go about your day.
That made me think of like whenever anybody, shout out to everybody on the check-in right now. Lou, what up? Everybody on the Facebook. That reminds me, like, you ever got like some bread like out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Like a nice, we ain't talking about a little change. We talking about some, you know, some money. And the first thing you do, you be like, hold up. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. You always
you start thinking about things quickly. But I'll tell you this much though too. Even when you ain't have it and you find that like $10 on the floor or that $5 on the floor, when you was a little hungry and now you could go get that sandwich, bro. You go get that slice. Those come through just as much, man.
You be too
those
lit.
Quick look downs, $5 here, $20 there. You go get you something to eat.
Especially when that direct deposit hit. You know, folks
man.
When I was young, I was still cashing checks. You know what I'm saying? But
I remember that, bro. Cashing checks when I was at the Department of Health, man. But that was the thing. Like, we ain't have no direct deposit then.
Yeah.
Cashing checks was, and you was excited. Woo.
That's a fact. What up, y'all? What up,
y'all?
So we got a dope show for y'all tonight.
Yes.
We got a special guest coming on tonight. She is a producer, a comedian, hell of a writer, and just overall funny ass force to be reckoned with. And I think a lot of, what happens in comedy is so much going on, especially in the virtual world. She's somebody that has transformed, the whole comedy Twitch and from home and the Zilla vision. So Zilla Vodnas will be with us tonight.
Okay.
And, I'm excited. I'm excited to have her
I'm
on.
excited.
She got a show running every day of the week. You thought I was bad. She got it. Listen, she is running the game right now. So, which is dope because I've definitely seen her in the comedy circuit, for at least almost 5 to 7 years that I've been doing it more heavier and that grind. So it's just like I've seen her in the game. So it's just dope to be able to have her on here.
Most definitely.
Talk comedy and all that good stuff. So
I got a question for you. Because we recap on like what people been watching or what they've been catching up with. Mm-hmm. Did you see the Biggie documentary on Netflix yet?
Not yet. I didn't see it yet. But
watch it.
But I heard it was pretty good.
This was the best.
I think the assumption is like, it's the same thing. It's going to be
this right here. I'm telling you right now, this right here is the right way to tell his story from a personal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
From the people closest to him, those who it felt very real. Yeah. And I loved and very authentic. Like it wasn't any fluff. And you're very enthralled and entertained and you're focused on him. Like it's not really sensationalized. You were just focused on Big. So I think this is the best work I've seen in regards to Big.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a must watch. You know what else is coming out on Friday?
Hold on. Is he in your top 5?
Of course.
He's in mine. I just want to do a top 5. You know what I'm saying? I know we got it. Shout out to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely in there. But guy, what you was gonna say? You said something else you want to watch.
I was gonna say Coming to America Friday. And all this build up. And as a comedian, you see a lot of comedians in this in the previews and the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a bit of a skeptic because I don't like ruining classics.
Mm-hmm.
And Coming to America is in my top 5 too. Movie. I mean,
that movie. Listen, that movie by far is gonna go down in history. I think one of the greatest things Eddie Murphy ever created. That shit. Listen, his mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
Are you looking forward to it? What are your feelings? What are your expectations? Because
I'm just confused a little bit. I'm hearing Eddie Murphy had a kid out of wedlock somewhere else. So I'm kind of like how they gonna stretch that, and I'm interested to see how it does play out. So I am excited to see if they can at least live up to the first one, at least break even. If you can't kill it, at least break even and give us a solid movie. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. So
that's real. That's real. And
I got something for you. I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of the news lately. Shout out to my guys Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. And where I'm going with this. The governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo's brother, allegedly, there's some sexual harassment allegations from 2 interns possibly that have worked for him or in the past or currently. But I'm hearing that there was a 3rd woman that came forward. So Cuomo is in the hot seat right now. And what's crazy is there's Democrats asking him to resign. So how you feel about that? And I'm gonna go off that.
I'm gonna tell you this much, because I saw something that Shanae, shout out to Shanae, when she was on a few weeks ago, PR maven, guru superstar, and something that she said that it really resonated with me and it made me think. She's like, think twice before you send that text, before you send that message in the DM. If you're not sure that that's the type of time you want with someone, don't even do it. Don't even roll that dice.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, especially when you're in the positions that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you have so much to lose, he should be more mindful and aware. And I'm not saying this to excuse it, because sexual assault is not acceptable, period.
Oh, of course.
Unsolicited advances, not acceptable, period. We do not co-sign sucker shit. We are not here for quick.
And I got to jump in there because he gave a semi apology, to the allegations, not so much taking responsibility of anything like that. So I think I just wanted to throw that in. I find that odd a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That you're more talking to he's talking to the allegations versus nigga. Like, it's, come on, bro. We seen you with the nipple rings, fam. Like, we seen you with the nipple rings during the pandemic, early pandemic. And we're gonna need you to cut the weirdo shit out. I'm just gonna be honest. Cuomo, I said Cuomo looks like he is a part of a biker club in like upstate New York and like somewhere Bear Mountain.
Cuomo is a real life eligible bachelor. Like, I'm like not even gonna hold you. Cuomo probably have his DMs lit with all kinds of women trying to throw it at him. And when you get and unfortunately, he can have that. And then when you're in the power of position when you're in a position of power, the way he is, and you have to make authoritarian, people are drawn to it. Women are attracted to that. It's kind of like that.
He was dating the chef, Sandra Lee, for a long time. So I mean, he's
moving. He's moving in these streets.
Yeah, he's definitely moving. Cuomo's moving, but I'm gonna be honest, he looks like he be doing weird shit. Like,
he does.
And we talked about this, Jay. We talked about this. Go back. We on the Afterthought podcast live. We talked.
You're right, Joe.
A whole 3-part series, and we talked about it is a perfect segue to bring it back. I feel like all these men, the Epsteins, those men in power, that are abusing their power for like sexual harassment or for advances or whatever the situation is. I truly believe like these motherfuckers was weirdos in junior high school and high school. They couldn't get any girls. They were sitting alone in the cafeteria eating their boogers type dudes. Like, these were the dudes that was just just weird. Like, bro, like, can you not be weird? Like,
but you know what I think? But I'm gonna tell you the difference. You're right, and we did talk about that. The difference I think with Cuomo is that you gotta realize his pops was the governor. He was always he was in Queens. Like, he was a mixy guy in Queens. Like, he wasn't like
Queens is like, we don't claim him. Queens, like, we don't claim Cuomo.
They're not claiming Trump either now.
Facts. What up, y'all?
Gotta take that Trump L too.
What up, man? Yeah, this is crazy.
It's unfortunate, and but what I do want to do though is that I wish that whenever we had situations like this, we had open, respectful, safe platforms for all parties to be able to speak their truths.
Of course.
Because the problem is that we don't hear enough from those, and we hear so many opinions. We don't really allow for the voices to fully be heard of those who were victims and those who were accused. Because there are instances on both sides where the one who was accused doesn't get to have their voice, and sometimes they were wronged. And then there are instances where we have victims who are shamed so much that they never find the power or find the strength to be able to use their voice and speak up and speak out. And we need more open, safe spaces for everyone.
That's a
to
fact.
Now say and have time to comfortably express what it is they're feeling or what they experienced or what they went through. And then you go from there. The court of public opinion takes over too much. Like That's everyone wants, unfortunately, we want instant gratification, instant results on both sides instead of really letting the due process play out. I want due process to play out. I want all voices to be heard and all voices to be respected. And once it's all been said and done, then we make your assessments. I just don't like when, we jump the gun either way. Like it's unfortunate. I hate to see the victim blaming and victim shaming. And because, when people say, oh, well, who's paying her to do this? Or who's like, sometimes it's not people just paying someone to do this, or like, there's a lot of people who pretend to be really, really, really cool and then really be having some fucked up tendencies about them.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. We that's something like I felt like that was something that we had to touch base tonight. We had to that Cuomo shit. Especially for the governor. You're supposed to be 6 feet anyway, nigga. Like I don't even know why you all up on these women. Like, first of all, like you shouldn't be in close enough to be conversation. Like, mask on. Like, but before we bring Zilla in, she's in the virtual building.
Hey,
I'm excited. Get her on there, talk some comedy, talk her grind, and more about her origin story. But I'm gonna do the segue like this. Normally with Tiff here, we do the ain't this some bullshit with Tiff, right? And I want to bring something to the forefront and place it at and still honor and ask Zilla about it when she comes on too. But I don't understand how motherfuckers fit 25 people in a 8-seater SUV. And when I say that, I'm not even trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people are like, yo, so I heard people on TikTok already trying to do challenges, but I'm talking about the SUV being hit by the semi truck in California on my coast where I'm at actually. And there was 25 people in there. 13 were dead on site, like literally as soon as the impact, and 11 are dealing with near death injuries. And I'm saying to myself, this is an 8-seater, ladies and gentlemen, 8-seater. If they only had 2 seats, the front, the passenger. The rest was the back seats. The third row was gone. But I still couldn't. I'm still right now asking you, how do you fit? Like that's got to be a smuggler situation. Like, let's be honest. Like was this the 3 o'clock shift? Was this the 3 o'clock bus that was? I'm trying to figure out how do you get a. Like it's just crazy. This shit bugged me out. That was some bullshit.
It's unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate. It's sad. May all the souls, may God rest their souls, and I hope that those continuing to fight and those who were injured continue to fight and
definitely praying for their family
and live, and praying for their health and recovery for their families. Unfortunately, Joe, there's a significant issue with human trafficking around the world, and especially in this country.
Yeah.
I remember my junior year in college because I had to finish up some.
We got 30 seconds before we bring Zilla in. Go ahead.
Yeah, after you pledge, you gotta go to summer school, get them credits up, make sure everything's situated. But I took a course on human trafficking and in the third world countries.
Yeah. So
it was like an elective for my sociology major, and I was reading a bunch of different books about how this happens all over the, former Soviet bloc countries. And we did a lot of focus there. And then there's also been a lot of that happening throughout different countries in Africa. I want to say Kenya. I may be getting the country wrong.
You've seen the movie 1, 2, and 3. I'm just saying, like
there's been too many women and girls disappearing.
Facts.
Being trafficked across country lines, across state lines. Yeah. And when you hear stories like this, it makes me think about all of the struggles that they're going through.
Yeah.
All the struggles that their families are going through.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And we're gonna talk more about it later, but we gotta get Zilla in here. She's been waiting on us. Great setup. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her Afterthought podcast welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian, writer, actress, dope individual in the comedy game.
Oh my goodness.
Make some
I know we was real serious, Zilla, but we gonna get it. We're gonna make it light right now. We having a serious moment, but
I was about to say, I follow some bullshit, but no one's ever talked about an intensely tragic car accident. And
yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Word. So this is what we gonna do. You know, when we have comedians come on, we give them a solid 5 to do their thing, and it's a perfect time.
Can we talk about the car crash first? I need to cleanse my
yeah, let's do that. Let's talk.
Good.
Okay. So immediately when you said that, right? So you told the story. I'm up on the real tragic stories. I'm not gonna front. I like me a fucked up story. I be reading the newspaper like, God damn, and like, shit blow your mind. This story is tragic. Like y'all mentioned, there is the possibility that there might have been human trafficking involved, which is a huge blight in this country and upon humanity. And people do very little about it. So we got that situated. Human trafficking is wrong. All I could immediately think, I come from, as a kid, I rode in the back of a truck like nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so unfortunately, there's man factors here. There's culture. There's lack too. Maybe you absolutely know that if those people could have had a second car, they would have transported what was going. No, but like, you think about shit like the dollar van is illegal, but you know how many people in the city rely on the super dangerous dollar van? Do you get what I mean? Like, what have we done wrong in society? So that's the first thing I will know. We need to up forms of transportation for everybody. The train needs to get better. We demand this now. The roads get better because, that's so crazy, man. Those people died for nothing. Like all of those things could have been avoided.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
And I know it's very easy to be like, people can be so stupid. But you got to think there's like a million reasons why. Immediately, all I started was like, damn, this story, we're going to read in the newspaper the top level of that story. There's so many layers to that story. Yeah. Y'all put me right in on a car wreck and saying that Epstein and Cuomo.
Exactly. What an intro. Right? So,
you were like, tell me creeps don't be creeping. You were like, you right. That's the whole conversation.
We ain't shit. So look, let's give them a hot 5. If you've never seen them perform, I can't wait for things to open back up. But you get a taste right here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it your undivided for a hot 5 here on Afterthought. Make some noise for Zilla V on the hot 5.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, how you guys doing? My name's Zilla. Very glad to be here. Welcome to the fanciest corner of my house. Because that's how you do on Zoom. You know what I mean? You take all your dope shit and you set it up real nice so you can give the impression, that you doing all right. As you can see, I have a light back there. It's controlled by my phone, which is kind of cool. Hold on, let's see if I could do it. Let me see. Am I? Yeah. Also, if you're wondering, every single one of these books is stolen. That's right. That's my calling card. I be hooking up with somebody, and then when I knock them out, I give them good love, knock them out, walk up to the bookshelf, boop, take a single book out, and just bounce through the window. This chick is wild. They don't even know how to explain to their boys the next day what went down. They are. The internet is in uproar right now. I don't know if y'all know there's like this war, but between millennials and then the next generation, they like judging each other. First and foremost, I just want to establish that I was born in 1982. I'm 38 years old, and I got my first personal computer at age 19. So I'm a weird millennial, because I remember before computers. Quit playing, it's like But I remember when there was no blue M&Ms. You know, I didn't know about those times. The 80s was wild, y'all. We didn't play with the Russians. You know, now people be like, oh, the Russians this, the Russians that. Well, we was in the 80s, yo. All the Hollywood movies was telling you that Russians was like the most evil people on the planet. Except for Rocky. Rocky used to fuck me up because, yo,
Rocky was an exception. Yep.
Yo, his wife is fine. I saw that movie as a kid and they was like, fuck the Russians. I was like, but wait, fuck the Russians, girl. Sexy little thing. But yes. So I like to break down my millennial status this way. I feel like millennials, there's a lot of us. It's like from 1981, I think, you know, to much later. I break it into two groups. Older millennials, I call them millennials. Yo, because remember when Will Smith was the most famous man in the world? I remember, he was dancing with aliens, punching aliens, doing all sorts of shit in every one of the movies. He had an album. Oh my goodness. Will Smith. The other day, I'm talking to my niece about Will Smith. She said, who? Jaden Daddy? Said, how dare you? At the very least, he's Jada's husband. You know, come on, say it right. Sorry. Yes. I was like, little girl, how dare you speak ill of the man who said party in the city where the heat is on? Yo, remember that corny shit?
White.
Anyway. So we got millennials, and then I got post-millennials. And post-millennials is kids who will see a face tattoo and they won't even be shook. Yo, when I was a kid, face tattoos was serious business. Y'all didn't get a face tattoo. Yo, back in the day, when I was a kid, they used to tell us that if someone had a teardrop tattoo, that means they killed somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Or if they went to jail, it was they almost killed somebody. Or if they came out of jail with one, that meant that someone killed their boy and then they had to avenge their death. That shit's so serious. Oh my God.
That's a lot.
Yeah, all the face tattoos back in the day were scary. Right now, the only thing scary about a face tattoo is that your parents probably not gonna, show you a picture no more. You know, parents just get that to your parents. They don't.
Funny though. Word.
I'm gonna end it on this. The funniest thing that they be arguing about online now is like they'd be like, oh, your style's whack. No, your style's whack. And one of the things they talk about is the side part. Now I'm team side part, but apparently that makes me an old lady. So I'm supposed to be, let me see, hold on. I'm supposed to be team center part, but bro, as soon as I do it, I look like the little boy who want to copy your fucking homework. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And then hit him with a mustache. I'm like Sam Elliott in this bitch. Me ho. You know, the center part fucked me up. The only way I'm gonna fix this center part is if I grow it out really long and I'll be like the 22nd loneliness. Thank you for having me come do my top 5.
Yeah. Yo, you crazy. Yo, you said the little boy that copies your homework. Everybody in here done had that boy in that class. Yo, you are crazy, and I think this is a perfect segue. Like as we're diving into getting to know you more, how did you get your start in comedy? Especially as a woman in comedy, what was that like for you? Where was that at? What was that inspiration, and how'd you get that? How'd you get to that start?
I always tell people I couldn't have done comedy in like my 20s because I think I was still like very much cared what people think. I care what people think, but like I think when you're younger, like you real eager to impress people. So I knew I was like good with words and funny, but I was also like, I was never like, yo, I'm gonna go on stage one day and just say shit. But later on, build up my confidence. And then I went to a burlesque show at Joe's Pub in the city. And burlesque is a beautiful
Upper West Side. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a beautiful art form of striptease. And the dude is hosting. And he's like, oh, this comedian. And he was terrible. Like terrible. And I was there with my homegirl, and I was like, hold up. You just need to be like type witty and funny, and you get to hang out with beautiful women and like do those shit. And this dude is doing it bad.
Right.
Like, like, so I was like kind of mad. I was like, bro, he got paid. And my friend jokingly, she goes, yo, you should do that. I'll come see you. Like, if you start doing it, I'll watch you try. So I was like, what? And it was like, boom, from that point on, I was like, I'm going to try to be good at that. Like, I want to do that. I feel like, and I always like storytelling. And when I was a little kid, like, I won the storytelling contest in like 5th grade. So I used to be like, real sassy, but I don't know. I was that one, I swear to God, a burlesque show. I was like, this dude, I'm funnier than him. Like, give me money to hang out with the women. I'm not trying to bag the ladies like that, like, but like, it was just the whole fact. Like, I think show business is the best. Like, to be able to hang out with people and make money, making people laugh and smile, top of the pop, man.
Yep. Facts. Yep. So, I mean, have you gotten this before? When I first seen you perform, it was damn, I want to say 2 years ago. I want to say it was downtown. I'm trying to figure out what club it was at. But you gave me Rosie Perez vibes from White
all the time. And I would be normally I would be like, yo, that's fucked up. But we literally are both from Bushwick. We're both Puerto Rican. We're both New Yorkers. I'm not gonna fight nobody about this shit, but in the way that we all know somebody exactly like Cardi B, you all got the one homegirl. That's a very like city thing, it's a personality type, but I hopefully am like I try to so I fought. It's funny you asked me about like when I first started comedy. The one thing that I think at first, I remember when I went to go Catch a Rising Star was doing the like auditions. The woman was like, yo, we'll put you up if you're only doing Puerto Rican comedy. We really need more like ethnic comedy. And I was insulted, like,
right. Yeah.
It wasn't because she didn't say like, oh, that was great. Like, she didn't step to me and be like, we like you, we like that. Instead, she was like, you need to do that for us to like, for you to feel relevant here. Like, we don't want to hear you talk about regular shit. Just, we need a person to put up for Latin night. And I was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, we do so much more. Yeah. So like, I'll take, always take the compliment, but that's also why I don't really talk about, I think I try to change it up on people. So I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna talk about some dumb shit, but I'm sassy. But if I did like all dating material, that's what I think they want me to do. They want me to do dating material, right? But I'm like, no, but what if I part my hair for real and we laugh at myself? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you on that. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, a lot of times, we hear with women in comedy, they want to put you in a box. And I'm glad you didn't want to stay there. Like you said, I want to do more. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to let you tell me what it is I need to do. Like, I think that's just dope. I'm happy to hear you say stuff like that. So I also want to know about like, what do you enjoy doing as far as like your writing, like your creative process? Like, before you're on stage, before you like, all right, this is what I'm gonna hit them with. Like, do you kind of feel out the room first? Do you kind of know, all right, I have certain things prepared, lined up, how I want to get them? Like, what's your approach before you like touch down in the room, or before you like do your 5 like you just did?
I think for right now, I'm really mindful of like, I know we have gone through a pandemic in which like almost everybody knows somebody who passed. So like, I'm always very mindful of just trying to see what type of joy the room is trying to have. And if I'm in a room and like, especially a Zoom room, and I try my best to watch everybody who goes up before me, just to get like a temperature of what they're doing and how people react. And like, if people went political and I saw that turn the room off, I do my really silly political jokes. I still do them, because especially like around the election, shit was so tense that I felt like you had to kind of talk about it because it'd be kind of weird if you didn't, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But I am very mindful of like, if I feel, okay, so I try, it's hard. You try to build an escape hatch in a joke. So you could do one line of it, and if they're not feeling it,
I know what you mean.
Out. You know, then you have another follow-up joke that just leads you right out of that premise because you're like, damn, they're not feeling this. That being said, I still think it's very important as a comic to just follow your gut. So, there was a couple of times I went more lighthearted, and then you be done, and you're like, nah, man, that's not what I wanted to tell them. You know, like
yeah.
So
that's what happens. It happens like that. You get it, and that's why you don't drink. Well, it's not good to drink too much before a set because then your mind gets. Because what happens is for me, I try to just be relatable, but at the same time, I got a lot of shit in them escape routes that I be wanting to bring in to the set. So instead of trying to get out, I'd be like, oh, I could bring this in because this one line they liked it. You know what I'm saying?
That's where you have the flexibility. But you know, it's funny. Like I was telling that like millennials, post millennials joke. I've been telling it for a while, and I remember one night at the creek, a lady stood up and said, "No, you're wrong," and I was like, yo, like you know what I mean? Like, right? He was like, millennials were not born that like late. And I was like, she was wearing a black turtleneck, and all that came to me was, it always be the bitch in a black turtleneck. All I said.
But that was perfect.
Just changed the joke because I was like, we not. She just said I was wrong, and it's so confusing. I felt like everybody was like, "Do we believe you anymore?" You know, like
what?
Is this bitch in the turtleneck right? I was like, we need to change the subject.
That's a fact. Speaking of changing it, you do you still work in education? I was doing some digging. I saw that you were NY teacher, NYC, but I'm a dean as well.
I am not teaching now, but I was a teacher for 8 years. I was a New York City high school teacher. I work with students on the autism spectrum and students with emotional disability.
Clap it up for that.
Salute to that.
Salute to that.
That is hard work.
Women of color out there doing it. You know what I'm saying?
It was beautiful. And you know, I can't lie, like one of the greatest joys, it was a rough couple of years, but one of the greatest joys was I got to teach like maybe 15 minutes from where I grew up. And so like being able to be like, I'm helping some like in Bushwick was really dope. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I was going to say, you see the change, but the reason why I was bringing it up, I'm an educator myself, NYC Board of Education. Obviously due to the pandemic, I'm like, nah, I'm a parent, so I ain't trying to get myself, but I'm not doing the remote shit, but I've put in a lot of work in the Lower East Side, the Bronx, and Harlem. But yeah, imagine me being your dean. Like, it's no jokes. It's dead ass serious though. It's like,
yo, that's dope though.
Get your ass to class. Cool. Good morning. All right, but get to class. Like,
but so, that's what the you know, it's funny. I was telling someone that like it's I never really, other than that lady who was like, you're wrong. I was like, I bet I'm wrong, and change the subject. Like the way we deal with hecklers as people who used to be educators is way different from like someone told me once, it doesn't bother you when the audience ignores you. I said, man, I used to get ignored all day at work. People just be in the mood sometimes. You got to learn how to read people. Being a teacher, I learned how to read people. There was kids. One of the number one things is like, you know, I grew up in a house where we wasn't allowed to have bad days. They did not. My dad grew up in Puerto Rico. He was not having, Dad, I'm having a bad day. We had to be good 24/7. But sometimes when you're a teacher, you know, and in these times, kids come in and be like, Miss, I'm not having a good day. And I'd be like, I bet. Thanks for letting me know. And we have a good day. You know, it's just so like
that's it. Like that's it.
So I feel like that's how you read audiences. That's like bringing it back to that. You can tell people are listening, they're not listening. You do one thing. Is it awesome to, the hardest I've ever worked on a joke, workshopping it, was a joke, the only joke I wrote about Trump. And it took me like so long because I didn't want to say his name on stage. I had to figure out a way to talk about the president without saying the president's name. And it was incredibly hard. And there was,
I can imagine.
I tried to tell that joke to somebody and there was nothing. And then there was other days where people would come up to me after and be like, yo, that joke is great. So like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you hit and miss, hit and miss. And then thankfully that joke is useless. Man, I was waiting for that joke to be useless. I mean, hope. Fingers crossed he don't come back.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And you're somebody who has pivoted well to the virtual. You have not only, I mean, I pay attention to a lot. I pay attention not because I just feel like I need to know who's doing what and who are the power players in the game. And when I say you are somebody that I feel is overlooked in the game of you can easily be writing for Saturday Night Live, like a Mad TV situation, because I feel like you're super creative and you channel that regardless of what's going on. And it's not easy transitioning during the pandemic. And what you've been doing with the Zilla Vision, I got to perform on her show, which is, she just had one last night on Tuesday nights, right? It's every Tuesday. And it's just like, honestly, like you're somebody that has provided a virtual platform that's actually hella entertaining to watch. I'm sitting there laughing, like she's funny as hell herself, but the comedians, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta perform in this shit. This shit is fun. Like, so like if you ever get a chance, check her out, Zilla Vision. But yeah, talk to us about how's the transition been with the virtual and how you've been able to stay creative since the pandemic has started, going on a year now.
So the first thing, I'm very much like, if I'm sad, it's very hard for me to really attack comedy in the way. So like if in my real life I'm upset. So like the first bit of the pandemic, it was a little bit of a freeze. You know what I mean? Because like my was like so overloaded. We're like, wow, the world shut down and this big, so it wasn't like you like, oh, haha, that's so funny, and like writing shit down as much as we normally are. So that what I ended up doing with that was I own a lot of photography equipment. Like I went to film school, and so like I had all of this stuff. I used to work so much, I never used it, and I was finally like, I was like, yo, if my stand-up brain is not working right now, let me try and work on other shit. So the first thing I did was I watched old music videos and talk shit over them. And I made a video of me making fun of these like crazy, awesome, weird videos. And I called it ZTV, like MTV.
Yeah.
So what I would do is like in my head. Okay, so I was like, yo, let me just be Puerto Rican Beavis and Butthead, right? But me, by myself. So I put it up and people responded to them. It was bizarre. Like, not bizarre, but like, I was like, oh shit, like I don't know if you know freestyle music, Latin freestyle. There's this old freestyle dude who used to sing Stevie B. So I did a Stevie B video, and Stevie B like retweeted it. So like funny shit was happening. Wow. I was like, I was able to a really like silly thing happened, and I was able to make people happy in this miserable time. Then the summer happened. So you remember, Joe, right? Like the weather got better in the city and in New York, and then like all the rooftop comedy started up, right? So tiny cupboard, all that stuff, right? So I started doing rooftop comedy, and a weird thing happened, which was New York has changed, the demographic has changed, and when you go to a lot of these. Yeah. So when you go to a lot of these like Bushwick shows now, it's all white 22-year-olds, which I wouldn't be mad at, but that's a lot of y'all all in one room. Like, let's mix it up. Like, I like a mixed audience. So a lot of the times, I kid you not, a dope show, fantastic lineup. Like I remember once I watched, I was at a rooftop show, Tiny Cupboard, Charles McBee performs. Charles McBee is hitting them with like Carlin level jokes about Black Lives Matters, and there's girls with their cell phones taking pictures. Nobody's laughing. I was like, okay. So between the commute and the danger of doing live, like like a lot of shows, I was like, let me not stop doing online. Let me do half and half. Switch.
Smart.
Yeah. So then when it got cold again, and then the numbers spiked, it was just like segueing right into, but that whole time I had already been doing online comedy. So by that point, the people at Comedy Hub reached out to me and they were like, yo, we see that you're doing this. Do you want to do our Tuesday nights? And then I say yes. And like it's been really,
shout out to them. Word.
Yeah, it's been really dope. And also they have like it's so cool to tell jokes to people from all over. Like last night, Andre D. Thompson did the show and he was
ranting. Andre, that's my guy.
Yeah, I love Andre. And he's ranting, and in Twitch, people are freaking out because they're responding and like to picking little parts of his jokes.
It's a different type of machine. For those that know, if you ever watch comedy on Twitch, you're getting comments on the same box like you are now on StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. But it's like a million comments at one time. Like
sometimes, so as a host, it's like my favorite because they'll say something during a comic set and there's not a heckle because the comic doesn't hear it, right? Then at the end of the set, I get to tell them, yo, people love this. They
nice.
Yeah, and that's what was funny. Like yesterday, Andre, if you bump into him, you tell him about it. He was like, I don't care about politics, his whole set, which was hilarious. So then by the end of our conversation, though, everyone on Twitch convinced him to run for president. I said, look, you see? I was like, you started tonight by coming into this like, I don't like politics, and Twitch convinced him to run for president. You don't get that. It's different. Now, do I miss a warm room? Do I miss, having a bourbon after my set and on the, you know what I mean? Do I not? I miss that, yes. But more than anything, I want everybody to be safe and like, for 25 people, stop dying in goddamn vans.
Yeah.
Get in there, Jay. I know you got another question.
Yes. You know what I'm asking, Joe? Well, we always ask our comedians. We have them on. When we always have our comedians on, Zilla, it's you, and you get 4 other and an honorable mention to be on a show with you. Comedians, top 5 comedians, dead, alive, currently.
All right.
So you want on that bill with you.
I got you.
Go ahead, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it's me and who? 4 other?
5 other. You get 5
other.
Oh my goodness.
Give you 5.
Your top 5.
Okay. So a lot of people will go moms, but I'm going to go LaWanda Page. LaWanda Page was the neighbor in Sanford and Son. She was a very dirty comic. And if you ever find her own records, I always love one blue comic, like one straight up blue comic. We got all right. So LaWanda Page. I got to throw Eddie in there because I'm sorry, Eddie in the Leather. That's what made me love comedy. Like he's gonna hit you with like an Elvis impression and yes. So I got LaWanda, Eddie, Richard. I didn't mention this, so I love Richard Pryor as a comic, but I will also love to pick his brain apart on God rest his soul. But like I would have loved the night to ask him about his show. If you ever watch his sketch show, it is just like
yes. I would love to be in that room.
You gotta watch the Richard Pryor roast with the cast members.
Yes. That is amazing.
Tim Reed is amazing. Tim Reed is hilarious. I'm talking, John
Witherspoon, Paul Mooney, Robin Williams, hilarious.
Yeah, but she's right. You just
hilarious.
That's a throwback to me right
there. Then I would add Bernie because you always need a mean comic. Someone just be mean and bully the audience. I would just be so proud. And so you
LaWanda Page, Eddie Murphy, Pryor, Bernie Mac. Go ahead.
Yes. And to round it out, because I think she's criminally underrated. This will have to be a tie, but I'm gonna go with Wanda Sykes because her special, she did if it's not Wanda, it would be Runner Up Some More. Because those are 2 women who I feel I feel like if they was dudes, it's rare. Like I bring up, like I'm gonna just fight for my own shit, like in comedy. You know what I mean? It's rare,
right.
But I feel like if some more and Wanda Sykes was dudes, they would have more cachet because they're both doing dope stuff.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a good question.
I love that list. Yep. I love that list.
Yep.
Yo, we've had a lot of interesting lists. But Zilla, your list might be closest to my personal favorites.
You got the Wanda Sykes in there. I would have put Wanda in there too.
I like that. Yeah.
But you know what? It's somebody, I feel like there was a woman, and since we're talking about women, it's Women's History Month. So I'm glad to have a woman in comedy that can relate. And you remember the early days of comedy on the big screen. There was a few people that really paved the way. The woman from Cheers, She was the bartender of Cheers. She was in the movie Sunset Park with talent. Yes, there you go. She was a comedian, but that kind of was like imagine her doing stand up. Like probably would have killed because she in that movie like epitomized comedy, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Whoopi. Now that's a thing. That's another person that people sleep on. I feel like people associate Whoopi with Ghost more than like her whole, like, you know what I mean, or like Sister Act, which are movies, but like she was really good. I feel like I wish they did Comic Relief again. I don't know if y'all remember in the 80s they used to do Comic Relief, and it was Whoopi, Robin Williams, and like all the big heavyweights will raise money. And I feel like they don't really, I wish that like comedy mix it up more. Meaning like I feel like you see famous lineups and either they're all white or they're all black. What happened to like mixing? There's no tour. I want, when things clean up, you know, I want comedy tours that are like, shit, put everybody up. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. More diverse. And speaking of the diverse, what about, y'all remember Kelly Park from In Living Color? She was the comedian. She was the comedic actress. She was in a lot of the skits. And she, you know, she was also
Kelly Cofield.
She was on Martin also.
Yes.
Kelly Cofield.
Yes, Kelly Cofield Park. She got married. My fault. So I didn't get her name right. But Kelly Cofield
married.
Kim Coles.
Yeah. Oh, like, but Kim Coles was amazing. And
Kim Coles was amazing.
Yeah, and that's like, even what was I watching the other day where it's like, oh, well, you found out, I don't know if you saw the article, Deborah Wilson said that she quit Mad TV because she wasn't getting
read that
as newer white comics. Get the fuck out of here. What?
That's crazy.
So you know what?
I read that article.
That's a good segue. Do you feel like women in certain situations do get paid less when they're on the show? You've been on a lot of shows. You've gotten paid, and you know when you be like, oh, okay, I'm featuring or I'm headlining. But that happens. So what's your take on women getting paid less in comedy?
Hold on, real quick before you answer that, Zilla. When you know you're funnier,
yo, you just changed
then the motherfucker who has their name up there and you know you're killing it, and you see what happening. Address that. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
No, that was perfect.
No, that's perfect. So I think this is twofold here. So I'm gonna take it into two directions real quick. The first and foremost thing is I think women are eager to take less money because we're so rarely booked to begin with. So do you get what I mean? Like, the opportunities are fewer and far between. So we probably are more eager to take less money, and we might not even be playing in the financial level that we are supposed to, because a lot of times it's not like dudes is just ready to tell you, yo, I get paid more than you, you know, like this shit done hush hush. So when you do see it, it hurts because you would imagine that's what's going on anyway. You know what I mean? Like I think it starts with, so now I'm gonna take it even further back. I think more venues need to be Black, brown owned. I think more venues need to be more diverse, because then they will book better lineups. The best lineups I've ever been on have been from people of color, the producers, and they step to it and they're like more open-minded. But I think right now, especially in New York, it breaks my heart. New York used to be such a diverse city, and there was places like you could go in Brooklyn and do comedy at a jazz club or another thing. All of those places have shut down. So right now, if we're not playing with a very, very white big room game, do you know what I mean? All of the big venues, like, do you know what I mean? So it's weird because it's like there's gender involved, there's race involved, access. You know, if I never get booked for a show in a club and they never see me, they never gonna know about me. But if they only they're friends, do you know what I mean? It's all there's so much.
I think you embody that too. Like I think you embody that spirit. Like, oh, y'all gonna put me on this show? That's fine. It's like that chip is always there, and it's not intentional. That's just how you roll, and I see it in the confidence and how you do stand up and things like that. So yeah, that's real. No, that's real.
I mean, I just wish also too, like another sad thing is if you see a lot of the flyers that's going up now, it's a return to, like, anytime I used to produce live comedy, I used to like fight. like be like, nah, you got to book it this way. You need to represent all people. That's this person. You saw this person on that show. You never had this type of comic before. Bring them up. You know, like keep it like fresh and everybody working together.
Yeah.
But then you be seeing shows and it's like 3 dudes that all they tell the same fucking jokes. They're all like, I was on Tinder, like three dudes in a row, and you're like, yeah,
like, really? Like,
come on.
Even on a base level, to have a true love of comedy is to know you book one person that does one-liners. You put one person up that does long stories. Then you put another person up that does all sex stuff. The lineup's supposed to be like fun, you know?
Yes.
In comedy, you know, you're known for a lot of ways: virtual, stand-up, producing shows, being seen in the comedy circuit. And those are the great nights. But let's talk about a night where you possibly have bombed. And we all got one. Mine was in Broadway Comedy Club, the Richard Pryor room. You know, that's that downstairs, the big room. I was opening up for Keith Robinson was headlining. Keith Robinson was the manager of Kevin Hart at the time. Monroe Martin, that was my homie, still is my homie. He was hosting it at the time. And I ain't even gonna lie. You know it's bad when you hear the conversation in the back. All right, so what the fuck we gonna do? What are we doing after this? This motherfucker right here. And I could hear their conversation on stage. And this was like 2008. But like, I was like, I gotta take this a little more serious. But what was yours? Share with us.
Oh, I've had 2 that I think of at the top. But the last one was like right before things shut down in the city, so it sucked like a little extra because it was like you need to like, you ever seen in the movies when they be doing Santeria and they be burning the like sage and like you need to cleanse, you know, like you bomb and you're like, I need to get up, you know, it's just like you know. So like I had a bomb and then we went into the lockdown and I was like, fuck, I guess I'm just living with that bomb. But it was like the second to last show I did before the pandemic, a dude was rip roaring drunk and one of the hosts thought it would be funny to continue giving this dude alcohol, like, you know. So then he started, like, pretty much the host thought it was funny that they had a drunk heckler, so he kept sending him drinks. And by the time I got to him, he was like gone, like fuck,
imagine, like smacked.
So I go up. I'm telling at this point I know I'm walking into a bomb, so I'm like, let me do all my top shelf shit. It didn't matter. As soon as I started talking, so I'm like, hey guys, so he goes, bah, 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 bah. And I was like, so? And he said, sorry. And I started going again, and he goes, bah, 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 bah. Bro was trolling me so hard. And I was like, this is it. Like, top bomb ever, because I like just died on the inside. I'm like, fuck, now I got to do this shit for like 7 minutes.
I got 2 more for you. I got 2 more questions for you. One is, with the cancel culture, are you one of those comedians that are you conscious of what you say, like down to the T? Do you like adjust, like, damn, I can't say this? Or are you just more so, I'm gonna say it, you know, I'm gonna live in that truth. We saw the Patrice O'Neal documentary, which was amazing. Y'all need to go watch that. It was about being in your truth. But it's the cancel culture. Dr. Seuss just got canceled, sis. You know, for books this motherfucker did about 30 years ago, 45 years ago. But are you conscious more now due to the climate of the world, the state we're in right now with comedy?
So there's many things here. I don't ever intend to harm people. You know what I mean? So like if I ever said something that like but like insulted someone and they told me, I would try to, you know, like reconfigure. You know what I mean? If I could try to make it or whatever. I don't think cancel culture exists. I think it only, this is a longer thing, but like pretty much like Dr. Seuss is fine. They just changed the thing where they would do in the schools where they will always celebrate his birthday as like almost like a holiday. Like every school.
That's a fact.
Yes. Every school in the district would celebrate his birthday, and they just looking into it and saying, wow, you know, maybe not so much. He did some, like, you know, he drew some positive shit. But what I will say about this is, I think a lot of times cancel culture is because of lack of diversity. So why instead of me like worrying about getting canceled, I'm just trying to make sure that I create an environment where everybody feels like they have their say. Because I think that's what it really boils down to.
Going back to what Jay said. Yep.
Yeah. So it's but at the same time, also, I come from a time where like people would catch hands for some shit they said. And that's illegal now. I'm not condoning violence. But I do think people say some crazy shit on Twitter because they know nobody gonna roll up to their house and fucking punch them in their face.
Exactly.
That's why I love her, because she said
exactly.
Punch him in the fucking
warm
face.
my heart. It warmed my heart to hear you say it.
So do I think if someone says some really stupid shit about people of color on their Twitter and someone goes and tells their their boss, like, yo, you gotta talk to them. They gotta get spoken to.
Word.
Not fired, but people gotta I feel like there's a weird thing, so like real quick, I live in Rockaway, Queens, and I joined like a Rockaway like on a joke, a Rockaway Facebook association, and people be wild racist online. Keep their names, make a list, fuck that shit. Tell them people. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't slander cancel culture. Yes, no, Dr. Seuss will be fine. People love Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham. That shit, you can't fuck with that. That's bars. But I think we just, something can be fixed. Fix it. He was drawing very ugly pictures of natives and shit like that. Yeah, take that book out of my kid's school. I don't know.
We don't need that bullshit. Yeah, it's a fact.
But it doesn't mean no, never. Like that means like no Cat in the Hat ever again, or Grinch is canceled. No, but yeah, I don't know. I wish they'd canceled Justin Timberlake though, because I'm still mad about Janet.
Word.
That one titty got you upset. That one titty.
Janet.
Let the cancel culture get him. He did it to bring
right. As we know, 2021 is already. I mean, we already in producer mode. We in the summer already. If you a comedian, you trying to get booked for the summer, spring. What you got coming up? What can we look forward in 2021 for Zilla V and comedy?
So before the pandemic, I was prepping for a 30-minute album, and I never got to do that 30 in a warm room, because right as I was at the point to workshop it, start testing it, everything shut down. I did a portion of it in October. I did half. I did 15. But I would really love by the end of this year, you will have me back, and I will tell you about my half-hour or hour-long recording, because I'm gonna drop an album. Whether it happens online, because some people are doing that. They're doing the Zoom ones. They get a warm enough amount of laughter.
I did 2 of them last year. Why not? Go ahead, do them.
And but I would really like to at least record the album in a safe way that nobody, if I had to be outdoors, I'm into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I appreciate you. Just for one holding down comedy during the pandemic. I gotta give you that. In general, just giving us a platform as comedians to come and perform and be seen and heard. Because that's what connected me to you the most, is you're not only doing it for yourself, but you're giving a platform for us to come on and be seen and heard and get other opportunities that you never know will come with that. So I appreciate you always.
Oh, thank you. And the feeling is mutual. Like, it's dope. I know we met once before, but it's like dope too. Look at now I feel like y'all are the best. I hung out with y'all.
Right? You got a tiny desk. You got a tiny desk experience going on right now.
Yeah.
We was vibing online. That's cool.
but I promise you, we're gonna work together in the summertime. I got some stuff coming, so I would love to work with you on stage.
I will look at you traveling
too. Outdoor shit too.
Zilla, make sure you do us a favor. When you putting in that work, go steal the rest of those Dr. Seuss books. Those Dr. Seuss books. Because we need contributions any way we can. And if you're stealing books like this, if you see them, take them.
Make sure y'all support her. Make sure y'all shout out to Stephanie Toussaint on the check-in too.
What up, Steph?
Appreciate you.
Spice.
If y'all want to see more, but there's one way that I need you to do. Every Tuesday, she's on the Comedy Hub. Go to her page. She got her IG right there right under her name, Zilla Vodnas on IG. Go to her page, follow her. She got dope shows. just damn near every day of the week. Not only just Tuesday. She on a hella show. So follow her, Cash App her, send her. Just go to her shows. That's how you support. That's how you support somebody. You ain't got to Cash App them for being. Go to her show, share her shit, and make sure y'all support her. So yeah.
Thank you guys both for having me. This was so dope.
Anytime. Appreciate you, Zilla. Thank you for coming on.
Be safe. I'll see you soon, all right? Yeah, that was Zilla Vodnas. One more time. New York representing. She's based in Rockaway, Queens, but that's a Brooklyn native all day. New York native in comedy. But check out her show. Her show is fire. I got to get back on there too, Z. I got to get some time in because the virtual helps us comics when we on the road. So like, make sure y'all tune in, support on Tuesday nights. But that was a dope interview. I'm glad I got on. I'm glad you got on. Want to perform with? I'm dead ass. I'm not just capping it because you know how we say in the hood. She's somebody I would love to see live on the same lineup. Just the energy with her on the stage.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. I agree 100%.
Jay, you ready for the play?
100. Yes. Yes, I am.
So, those that's just tuning in for the first time, I had to make sure Tiff's Ain't This Some Bullshit segment got some love tonight. And we definitely talked about it. But the pro tip is where we all get right. It's where we come out the negativity and we get right. So Jay, I need the pro tip heavy. Let's get it. Yeah. Let's talk to it, brother.
All right. As we're entering a new month, new opportunities, spring's about to get here. Like, we've been dealing with a lot. We're still unsure about a lot of things. I just feel like we need to make sure we go and chase what it is that we know we deserve. We got to go get it. We got to put this work in. We got to take the time to say, you know what? I may have been doing this, but it's now time for me to go get that. Like, I took a long time not doing this, or I missed opportunity. Like, I can't do that no more. I got to go get it. I got to go get it. So I want to say a big shout to my brother, Phil. He was talking to me and he put me on to something. And I was like, bro, this is my pro tip for the show. So shout to my brother, Phil Reynolds. Joe, we're going to talk about, I'm going to plug you with Phil because he's the person I talked to you about with some real estate stuff here in the city. So if you're looking for some real estate stuff, shout to my brother, Phil Reynolds.
I'm taking my courses. I'm slow with it. I'm on the path to greatness.
Yes. So here's the pro tip for today. Bravely face things that give you anxiety, for it is a disease of missed opportunities. Bravely face things that give you anxiety, for it is a disease of missed opportunities. I see so many people and I hear so many people dealing with so much. We've dealt with a lot of death, a lot of sickness during this pandemic. A lot of people have been anxious, not knowing where their next meal is coming from, where their next opportunity is coming from. And we've had to reinvent ourselves, be innovative, go chase our bags in different ways, do things to help give us a renewed sense of purpose, a renewed sense of self. Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from the things that we may have appreciated to say we got to buckle down and focus in and be like, look, we got to get this happening. So we kind of have to remove ourselves. We got to focus on our studies a little more, focus on our family a little more, focus on our work. Y'all were both talking about it, you and Z, about focusing on the craft more, doing things differently, which I never really may have done. Some of these things are new. They may have made you a little nervous. We would talk about things, Joe, and we both would be like, I don't know, I'm unsure, but you know what? Let's do it. We was unsure about the Afterthought. And look where we are. How many episodes? Episode 26, 27 later?
Yep. That's a fact.
So, we have to understand how real it is, be mindful of it, but we have to be brave in approaching it. Doing it with our due diligence, because I refuse to miss out on my opportunity to be great. And that's what I always tell people. Let's not be good, let's be great. So that's what we really on. We're going to face the things that give us anxiety or may make us feel a little uncomfortable, but that's the disease of missed opportunities. And we can't be taking any shorts anymore, period.
That's a fact. That's the pro tip with JP. Run it back. when you're working out, if you want to be inspired or you want to get that day going. I don't care. That's what's dope. You can catch us on anchor.fm/ Afterthought Podcast. All these episodes is up on YouTube and Facebook. We're not done. We got a little bit left. You know, we got it. We getting more positive. We had a great guest on. And I got to talk about my sports real quick.
Yes. You know, we got to do it.
Be honest, the Knicks are the bright spot in NBA right now for the New York basketball scene. But I called out, and I said this, my team to watch, and I've been supporting them too, is the Phoenix Suns.
You have been, Joe.
Suns railroaded the Lakers last night. Now, I know the Lakers don't have AD. You know, Schroeder just came back. I'm just saying, Chris Paul has got them boys at 38 years old. He has got
38. Damn, Joe, why you say he's that old?
Chris Paul's 38, man. Chris Paul's 38.
Chris Paul's 35.
Chris Paul's not 35. Is he?
Chris Paul was born 85. How much you want to make a bet, Joe?
Hold on. I don't know about that. Hold on.
We better drink. We better drink.
I better drink. He's 35.
We better drink.
You're right. I'll give you that. He playing like the 38-year-old nigga in the gym with that's killing you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take the Remy as you see on my hat. But yeah, he's killing like that.
He's got them in a direction, and they got some nice pieces. I still feel like they have one player away from being a real championship, dominant, but they can compete and they can control them games right now.
You know what, Joe? I don't think they're necessarily one player away. I think they're 1 year away of development. Because I think they have enough pieces. I just don't know that when the Lakers are fully healthy, when the Clippers are fully healthy, when you see what Philly's doing, I don't know if they have enough to win a championship right now. But I think, and that just comes with time. You got to realize, in year one of Chris Paul and Devin Booker, finally getting this going, it takes time. You haven't, for the most part, even Miami with the big three, they ain't win their first year. It took Spurs some time.
So who's your MVP?
Duncan and David Robinson.
Who's your MVP right now?
Of the league right now? It's gotta be. It's between LeBron and Embiid.
I'm giving it to if the season is right now, Embiid. Yep.
Embiid is looking different. Like he Euro stepping. He 2 dribbles from the 3-point line. Facts. Oh, he backing you down. He giving you dream shake
every game now. It's a difference. He's doing it every 6 games. Now he's giving you that consistency where he's damn near. Where when we talk about efficiency and we talk about that PP, that per game and the stats to ratios, the buckets, he's like damn near 38 points a game.
Yeah. And if I gotta finish out, like if I had a top 5 for the MVP, because I think it's LeBron and Embiid and everyone else. I know. Shout to Javon. He's gonna be happy to hear me say this. But the way James Harden has looked on Brooklyn, the amount of triple doubles, the man had a 30 and 15 and 13 or 14. With 0 turnovers.
Are you saying what the question is asking? Are you
0 turnovers?
James Harden MVP.
He's in my top 5 MVP voting. I gotta go LeBron, Embiid. Like I said, Harden.
Okay.
I have to. I would be remiss to not mention this one person. That's the Joker, because Jokic has been putting up big numbers, and they are doing well, even with the turnover that they had, losing guys like Grant, losing guys like
Facts.
What was my man?
This lost a lot of pieces. Lost some pieces.
Denver lost me, but they got good young pieces too. It takes time for them to get comfortable, and I'm gonna tell you who my sleeper number 5 pick is, Joe.
You gotta give me your sleeper number 5.
Wardell, Stephen Curry.
They're gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Now, with Draymond having been hurt to start the season, no Klay Thompson,
Wiggins, and my guy, his name, yes,
Kelly Oubre, who was missing every single 3-pointer he took in sight, like the first 15 games.
Balling. Matter of fact, are they playing right now? Are they playing the Blazers right now?
Oh, they playing the Blazers tonight.
They
and
are.
Dame,
I'm on the West Coast.
So
I'm gonna check the score. It's the second quarter. The Warriors are up 35-34 in the second. 9:03 left in the second quarter. It's still early. Dame Lillard getting off to a hot start. I'm seeing Curry as well.
So you know, I would say those five have really been my top 5 MVP candidates. Who's
the worst team? Who's the worst team in the NBA? Would you say Houston right now?
Worse? Nah.
Houston has 13 in a row, bro.
But Houston's had a lot of injuries. And the whole Harden situation.
Yeah, it's bad. The Hornets have been balling. LaMelo,
he's the real deal. He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
You said something, Philly. I want to see how teams is going to match up versus them in the playoffs, because that's when Ben Simmons is going to be even more dangerous. I don't give a damn if you can't shoot.
Agreed.
You still got to stay in front of him and stop him from getting to the lane. And because when he did a move the other night, he did a Euro step and slowed down halfway to the paint and dunked it with 2 hands. I said, shit, if you're doing that every time down, you don't need to fucking shoot a jump shot. Like,
you're right. And then what happens is that in the playoffs, when the court shrinks and they try what Philly's gonna make other teams do, you're gonna have to either bring the double to stop him and force him to kick it. And who's he kicking it to?
Tobias or Curry.
Exactly, Joe. We know the game, and those guys will take and make shots. And then, you want to bring a big man? Want to come bring help? Oh, I'm throwing the lob to Embiid, and that's it. It's gonna be very.
I saw Embiid go through a 3-player. It was 3 dudes on him, and he did a drop step counter into the 3, went up over the top and dunked the shit. So I'm like,
his footwork, like, how impressive is it to watch the game now and to see the skill of these bigs? To look at Embiid, to look at the Joker, and the footwork, the ability to move, the ability to step back on the off foot and then still hit jumpers and runners and turn around fades, jab step you and step back on a 3 and cash it. And he's just 7 foot. Like, it is unreal to see. It's amazing.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's happening right now in the NBA. This has been a dope show. I'm glad we ended up with sports, because I know the folks been asking, yo, what's up with them Lakers? And they ain't shit. The Suns have the second best record in the NBA. That's what's happening.
Oh, man. To talk MVPs and not talk about my man Donovan Mitchell. Ooh. Shout to the city. Shout to my man RJ. Shout to Amir.
I don't believe the Jazz. I don't believe them every year. I don't. I think they play great on the regular season, and they'll be out by the semis. They'll be out by
second
the
round.
Yeah,
second round. Playoffs.
Listen, what's gonna happen is the Lakers are gonna stay afloat and slip to the middle of the pack, and that's gonna be dangerous when Anthony Davis comes back, because then you got to play them early, a 4 or 5 seed.
You're right. You're right, Joe.
3 or 6 seed. You don't want to play the Lakers that late in the season with AD coming back. So we'll see how it all comes up.
And one quick shout out on the sports tip.
Hold on.
Shout to the manager.
Lloyd's carrot cake. I was going to drop that Lloyd's carrot cake.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a second. Aaron Boone. We praying for you, Aaron Boone. He had to get a pacemaker. The manager of the New York Yankees, our favorite team. You know, we Yankee fans up here.
Man. Yeah, man.
Shout to Aaron Boone. He got to get a pacemaker placed in, but they saying he should be all right. He should be back within a few days, maybe a week recovery. And, you know, whenever you hear about issues of the heart and health, and this is a former professional athlete.
Yeah, man. You got
for 15 years.
COVID, man. it's a lot of stuff in the atmosphere with the breathing and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more than, and you don't know what the complications can really do, but definitely pray for him and make sure.
Yeah.
Our guy, because I need to go back to a Yankee game and see him doing all right, man. You know.
Yeah, man.
But
so, best wishes to him. Yes, indeed. You know the vibe. You know, Easter coming up
in hours. You see it, man. Support them.
Springtime coming up.
Yep. Mother's Day's coming up.
Check us out in Riverdale.
Easter
check us out in Harlem as well. You go get your merchandise as well at Lloyd's Carrot Cake, man. Continue to support us.
And speaking of support, if you want to support the
live and going,
podcast, just go to drop the link is right there. Afterthought podcast, Anchor FM, Anchor.fm / the Afterthought podcast / support. Just Google it. We're on all digital platforms. Google Play, Apple Music. We are everywhere. Shout out to Anchor though.
And real quick, we might be coming on a little early next week. So make sure you're following us on the gram. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, on Twitter, all these things.
That's right.
Because we might be coming on a little early because my fearless co-host and leader here has another dope show lined up. So we running back to back. We giving you Afterthought. Then we giving you Joe's performance live. So stay tuned for more information.
Live from LA, Laugh Factory, First Impressions will be doing their First Impressions competition. So I will be on there, and it starts at 7, but I'm not sure the order and what everything is, but I'm gonna be dropping the details. So I said, fuck it, we gonna drop it tonight.
That's 10 o'clock Eastern. So we gonna be in and out early. Then we gonna make sure we go support Joe as he does damn thing, do what he does.
A New York native comic, Takara Williams, will be hosting this First Impression series. So make sure y'all look out for that. Show her some love. But yeah, we out of here. It's been a dope episode. Support the show. Follow us. See y'all next week. Earlier time. Same bat channel. Y'all be good.
You know the vibes.
Peace.
Peace.